Hi, friends. If you have clients who are singing any of the microphone-based genres, or if they're singing contemporary music theater, then you probably also have clients who are wanting to develop style. Most voice teachers and vocal coaches feel a little bit at a loss when they're asked to help people develop style for a number of reasons. They may not have a background in genres that ask for improvisational kind of style. If you've been trained in Western classical, you're probably not going to be really confident about how to insert this organic kind of style in your singing. Or you may know how to do it, except you have some trepidation about telling somebody else about their own style. Like, the style is such a personal thing. So then what do? I want to talk about the beginning part, sort of laying the foundation for both you and your client if you're not super confident about it. What to do, what to listen for, and how to direct your client's thinking a little bit so that they can begin to incorporate this stylistic vocabulary in a really natural, comfortable way for them. I am Meredith Colby. I'm the author of Money Notes, How to Sing High, Loud, Healthy, and Forever, which introduces NeuroVocal, a way to approach singing for popular styles that is based on brain science. I coach one-on-one, and I also do professional development for voice teachers and coaches. If you want more information about my professional training or one-on-one services, please go to my website, neurovocal.com. Now, as I said, this is how to help your clients with developing more style in their singing. And you may or may not like this suggestion, but it's a really big deal. And that is, you're going to spend some of their lesson time listening. Yes, of course, it would be wonderful if you could just tell them to listen and you didn't spend your lesson time listening, but let's be honest, they're not going to. And if they do listen, they won't necessarily know how to listen, because that's what you're going to help them understand, that listening is a large part of singing. It's the primary way that we learn how to sing. Listening and hearing are not quite as simple as most of us were raised to believe. So I'm going to talk you really quickly, or as quickly as I am capable of, through what happens when you hear something, because this will help you understand why you need to help your client learn how to listen. So here we are, we're in a space and we're hearing all the sounds that are in the space, and we decide to focus on a particular sound that's in the space, and those sound waves hit our eardrum. When it hits the eardrum, it knocks on these three bones. Boom, boom, boom. They amplify that signal about 20 times, and then they hit another little drum that's called the oval window, that is the beginning of the cochlea. The cochlea is this little seashell-shaped thing that's inside your ear, and it's filled with fluid. It also has these tiny little hairs called cilia that together are called the organ of Corti. So when those tiny little hairs get moved by the fluid that is moving, that is informed by the type of sound wave that hit your eardrum in the first place, that movement then transduces at the level of the auditory nerve and turns into an electrical signal. So if you know anything about microphones, you may be thinking to yourself, hey, wait a minute, this is what microphones do. And you'd be absolutely right. It transduces sound waves into an electrical signal. So then that electrical signal goes zoop, down to your brainstem. It goes through these sorting stations in your brainstem, goes up through the subcortical structures to the auditory cortex, conveniently located right by your ear. Once the sound gets there, then you've heard. That's when you hear. So your brain hears. Your ear does not hear, your brain hears. And then once it hits the auditory cortex sorts it out. Different parts of your brain process different kinds of sounds, because you need certain areas to understand what I'm saying right now, and then you need different areas that will respond to music or a dog barking or whatever, okay? So it's a big deal, is what I'm saying to you. Hearing is a big deal. And my brain hears things differently than your brain, and in fact, differently than all the other brains. We hear things differently because of how we have learned to listen. So when you hear somebody sing, you hear a lot of intricacies in that singing that your student is unable to hear. It's not that they're being belligerent or they're trying not to hear it. They simply cannot hear it. However, you can teach them to hear it. So that's what I want to encourage you to do today. Take some lesson time and show your client how to listen for different stylistic elements. Do you think your student is noticing that Meghan Trainor starts almost every phrase with a vocal fry? Probably not, but you did, so you can point it out to them. Say, listen to this. Okay, now let's do it. Show them the vocal fry. You do it together, you go, oh, there's a thing. Then you listen to Meghan again and you go, oh, ooh, I can hear all those vocal fries. Cool, right? Yes. Those simple little falls, ha, right? I just did a scoop and a little fall off. They don't hear the scoop. Show them how to do a scoop. Do a scoop together. They might already know. Do it together and then go, let's listen for those scoops. And then you can find, just like in 8 bars, you're going to find a whole bunch of scoops or a little fall off. See, you notice how when I'm listening to this singer and she falls off, I was just hearing goop. Now I'm hearing 3 notes. 3 distinct notes. Well, if I can now hear that there are 3 distinct notes, I may be able to replicate the fact that there are 3 distinct notes. When I couldn't hear it, there's no way I'm going to be able to replicate it, right? So this is what I'm saying. Spend time with them. Listen to these stylistic elements, these stylistic vocabulary words, if you will. Let them try them on in these little bits. Like, let's get the feel for this. Let's hear ourselves doing it, particularly if they're not difficult, and particularly if the student is kind of doing it anyway, because a lot of times they are, and go, hey, look what you did. You did this thing. Now let's listen for when your favorite singers are doing these things in the song. And that way the student can begin to incorporate these ideas, these vocabulary words of style in a very natural, very organic way, because they're hearing them happen in their favorite singers, because you have spent time teaching them how to hear. You are the only person who's ever going to do this for this client. Believe me when I tell you this. And it's a gift. The value of it cannot be measured. So please do this with your clients. Spend time teaching them how to listen to other singers so that they will be empowered to be the singers that they want to be. I'm Meredith Colby. Have a great week.